When my daughter was 3, apart from having lots of other problems before, she had a terrible accident on a farm we lived on and was buried and was in a coma, buried with grain. And then I realised how important it was, because we lived in a very isolated hill farm, how important it was to have contact with people who offered support. And I think that was really when I first became involved with recognising what people needed in lonely jobs, isolated places. If you do have a problem, when there's not many people around to discuss it, it becomes a bigger problem, and often it's not a big problem at all. And so the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust, we offer a very confidential, very sensitive helpline, telephone number that people can ring. Basically, we offer help to gamekeepers, stalkers and gillies. That is what the Gamekeeper Welfare Trust does. We offer help in redundancy, illness, young people trying to get into the career of gamekeeping, families. We assist them in any way that we can with legal matters. We just talk it through with them, highly confidential, and advise best we can what should be done. In some cases, just talking about the problem, the situation is resolved. You can't go wading in with a sort of recipe for all. It just doesn't work. And also, you have to take into account, some people take much longer to tell you what actually is wrong. Other people, it all comes out and they've written it all down. You know, they know exactly what they're doing, what they want you to do, and how it should all end up. And that's quite difficult because it's never straightforward. Not really. So we need, as I say, we need to be very sensitive and thoughtful. Do we always get things right? No, because life's not like that, is it? You know, there's always... I don't believe anybody that says they've never had a problem. And I know that only too well. So we just try to accommodate everybody. You do get, of course, you get applications that we are not able to help, but sometimes we can, some other people can, some other agencies can bring in some work, or indeed local. Sometimes somebody needs a car repaired. They're dependent on it because they live in a very isolated place. We can speak to a local garage owner and see, going in through the back door, you know, we can make a contribution to that and they will reduce the price. And sometimes people really don't know very much about it. So there's all sorts of ways of helping. One of the great difficulties, I think, is that living in rural communities, people are incredibly proud, and it takes such a lot of courage to pick up the telephone and say, I think I need some help. And often it's not financial help. It could be something as easy as just somebody to listen. Because if you share a problem, it takes the edge off it. You suddenly think, is it as big a problem? And then we can offer advice if necessary and guide people in the right direction. Really, one of the most important things is to enable people to help themselves. Because if you do that, you don't feel quite so dependent. You feel you've done something for yourself and it gives you the strength to carry on. Sometimes it's just a bit of support people need. For example, you have a retired gamekeeper, stalker or gilly living in a town. They've had to move out of their tied house due to redundancy, estates being sold. They then are in a completely alien environment. And if they're on their own, or indeed with families, they feel very left out of the life that they had before. And often a local farmer, estate owner, people with land can offer help by just saying to somebody, can you come along and give us a hand for the day? And that can make somebody feel needed and also gives them the contact that they are missing. It's very important. So there's all sorts of ways really that people can help. And they don't always know they can. So that's why we want anybody with anything to do or interest in these areas to contact us and say, can we help? And I'm sure we'll find them, something to do. But we can also offer help to young people trying to get into keepering and gamekeeping because they need maybe financial support or advice on how to apply. And so we can do that. We can help the keepers, the stalkers, the gillies, their dependents, their families, really anybody in the gamekeeping, stalking or gilly trades with any problem should get in touch and see if we can help. Just pick up the telephone, make the contact. And if you find it difficult to speak, then try again. Don't give up, because we will be there and we won't let you down. And that's the hardest part, is actually to say, I need help in any shape or form. I need to talk to somebody. Because you feel you've failed. And of course you haven't failed. You can't help illness or redundancy or 101,000 things that happen in life. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that we can help with. So it's just so important. Get in touch. If we can't help, we'll say so. There's no point in leading people into something that they don't need. But it takes such a great deal of courage and pride. People are very proud. You don't want to admit you've got a problem. But I think, I hope that when they ring up, we give the right response. I think we do.